Good evening and welcome to Tuesday at Two Lines. Ecamm crashed right as I went to go live, so I'm a few minutes late. I apologize. Weird. As soon as I hit the go live button, bam, down it went. So hopefully that doesn't happen during the live stream. So anyway, how's it going, guys? Hopefully everybody's having a great Tuesday. Welcome to the live stream. And I don't know. It's a lot going on. We just ended the 2023-2024 race season at Cincy Slots. I did a little impromptu live stream on Sunday night. Kind of got through the Easter weekend. It was kind of a crazy weekend. A lot going on, but we survived it. And so now, now we move on. But I did a little breakdown of my race stable, the cars that I raced this year at Cincy Slots, and they're back here on the track. And it was kind of funny the last couple days. I've been thinking about, holy cow, I picked up a lot of cars in the last year and a half just to race. So, yeah. Do you guys ever look back and look at your collection and go, where did those cars come from? So anyway, so we got big stuff coming up. This weekend is the Michigan 24. So shout out to all those teams that are participating. Hopefully you guys have your cars ready. Super excited about it. I am trying to get up there on Friday. I was looking at taking Friday off, and one of my coworkers, his wife, is expecting, and it looks like they probably will be inducing labor on Friday. So I don't know what that's going to do to my schedule. So I may have to switch it up, and then maybe not get up there Friday, but get up there on Saturday. So we'll see how that works. But Greg and Josh and Butch, the Bear Racing or Grizzly Racing. Had to think about that for a second. Wish you guys the best. Good luck running the brushless. You guys put a lot of time and energy and effort into getting that car ready, and glad that they made the rule change to allow that to run. Looks like maybe you might not be the only ones that run a brushless, which is really cool. Love that the hobby is progressing. Again, I've moved my brushless over to the 963, which a lot of you received yours. The original was just the white kit. And so it was awesome to see the 963 from Scale Auto come out with the new liveries. They look fantastic. Really curious if any of you received yours and you've had a chance to get them on the track. We'd love to know how you're feeling about tuning, how well it's running on your track. I just have to warn you, man, the thing is a rocket ship. And I've even geared mine down a little bit to try to make it a little more controllable on my track, and we're getting there. So, but that's cool. And I just got some pictures from George at Area 51. He is wiring up his track as we speak. So, yeah, good stuff. So let's see who else in the chat. We've got Chris. We've got DeFingers. We've got Dan. We've got Daniel. Daniel, welcome. Daniel, I think it's funny. We got a chance to talk about lots of things last week. Thanks for making the trip to Cincy Slots. Had a great time. But I appreciate the guitar in your profile picture. For Easter, I actually pulled out my electric guitar and played. I usually play lead with acoustic, but I played the electric for the weekend, and it was a lot of fun. There's George. He will be listening as he's busy wiring up the track at the moment. That's awesome. John Albright, Les, John Tucci. What else? Who else? Hey, Chris Freder is in the house. Yeah, we've got some crazy weather. So if all of a sudden I disappear, that means we lost power. Yeah, Daniel, I agree. Georgia's track looks great. Hey, Reese, good day. Hopefully you're doing well. Greg is in the house. Dan is in the house. Hegeson Farms, greetings. Welcome. Steve. Yeah, Steve, we got some crazy weather. You're getting the same line of storms, I think, that we're getting. It could get a little crazy about 9 p.m. here, I think. No drama. Welcome. John Tucci, welcome. Hey, Jim. Jim, great breakdown video of the cars, the Can-Am cars for the Proxy. It's always good to see how other people tackle tuning. The one thing I will say about all three of those cars is they all had way more weight than I expected. It was really interesting. So, hey, thanks. I appreciate you sharing that. Jeff G. Blue Water. Is it going to be a packed house tonight? Wow, I guess I'm really behind in the... Hey, Tad. Yeah, Steve, that's a great question. What was the gear ratio? That was one thing you didn't... Mad P. Good to have you. Didn't check the gear ratios. Okay. Yeah, Chris, hopefully it passes through with little to no damage. Hey, Gina. Good evening. Hey, Lindsay. Thanks for joining. Collection is in the house. Yeah, good stuff. Let's see who else. Hey, Slot Journal. Yeah, Reese. Our race season runs from October to March. We wrap up at the end of March, so April we are done. Now, Steve Holzman, he has got the King of the Plastic series that he's doing over the summer, and then I am trying to look at the calendar and possibly putting together a little 4-race summer series, maybe starting in May. So I've got to look at the calendar and kind of map it out, but I don't have tons of room for a bunch of people at the track, but it would be fun to put something together. So yeah, we're kind of at the end of the season. There's kind of a summer rotation between some house tracks. But then there's some endurance races over the summer, some things like that. So, but it kicks off this weekend with the Michigan 24. Yeah, Dan, super pleased. Every Tuesday we always have a great crowd, whether there's 10 of us or there's 100 of us. Always super surprised and thankful that people show up to chat about slot cars. So the big question, how many of you got your 963 that you pre-ordered, and what do you think of that car? Have you put it on the track yet? Put any laps on it? Just curious to get an idea of what people are thinking. Daniel, shout out to all the people I met at Cincy Slots race last Thursday. Thanks for the hospitality. It was a good time. Yeah, Daniel, it was great to have you, man. Thanks for making the trip. It's always fun when new people show up. Hey, Eric. Hey, Curvy. But yeah, it was good to have you. There's a lot of those guys that race that'll be at Cincy Slots that are in in the chat. So, Fred, that's a good question. Will the Michigan 24 be live streamed? I believe last year I watched a live stream. I think it was maybe a single camera, if I'm not mistaken. And I know that Mike has streamed the NSR race as well. So I did catch a lot of the 24 off and on. On the live stream. So I think I'll post that link. I'll reach out to Mike to see where it's going to be live streamed on what channel. I can't remember exactly whose YouTube channel it was streamed from, but we'll get that posted so people who are interested can watch. Dusty got his 963. Yeah, you need to get over to the track and try it out. Hey, Joe, welcome. Good evening. Joe, I tried to jump on the, what's it called? The Discord, and the link kept saying that it was no good. So, send me a link, thet5guy@gmail.com. Thanks, man. Let's see here. Steve Sweeney, Roast Coffee. Welcome, Steve. Good to have you, man. Frankie, what's up? Anthony, good evening. So, yeah, 963, great car. People ask me, I've had questions about what tires I'm using on the 963. And so I'm running 1403s super tire silicones. Now Billy will give me a hard time about running silicone tires, but since that's what we run at club, that's what I run at the house, so I don't have to always keep changing back and forth, because it does change your tuning when you change your tires. So I stretched a set of 1403s. I don't know what the official tire should be on that Scale Auto. So if anybody knows, I'm probably running the wrong tire, but it seems to fit really well. It's a little bit of a stretch, but it's got a good contact patch, and yeah, super tire 1403s. So what kind of tires are you guys running? I think Kerry Weiss asked me that today. Let's see here. Marty played Freebird during Easter service. Yeah. Somebody always has to yell that. Or somebody always yells the cartoon song. If anybody knows what the cartoon song is, you can YouTube it and check it out. I have a Kermit the Frog imitation. And so lots of people always yell cartoon song. Anyway, Dave Patterson just talked with Kevin about my track last week, ordering the mid-mow from him. Nice. Dave, that the mid-mow, that's Harry's track. That will be a nice layout for people who don't have a lot of width, right? That should work out really well for you. I really like, I don't know what the name of it is, but this latest track that Kevin posted, I really like that layout. That looks really, really good. Even though he makes fun of long straightaways in the comment, and I know he's just joking, but long straightaways are for beginners. But I like a little bit of long straightaway because it gives you a second to just take a deep breath. You can really let the car run out a little bit, and you still have to get on the brakes. You still have to drive. So, but I really like that layout. That looks good. And of course, I like George's layout. George has got a pretty technical layout now. It'll be interesting to see some cars running around that, and maybe, just maybe, he might have one of the lanes lit up tonight if he can get his wiring done. So we won't bother you, George. Keep working on it. Hey, Richie. Thanks, man. You as well. My son just broke out my Firebird. He loves it. The other one of my guitars has been taken over by my. Hey, Jag. Hey, Gary. So yeah, nice shit. Thanks. That was good, Jim. Nice one. It's good to see your sense of humor a little bit there. Appreciate you went through a lot of effort to put that together. I can always expect an April Fool's video from Billy. I don't know if he's in the house tonight or not, but yeah, that was good. Yeah, agree, Dave. Jim does an awesome job. Great content. Slot R, unexpected. My internet was supposed to be down for maintenance all night, but seems it's back already. That was a quick maintenance window. Even though it is past your bedtime, Dave. Thanks for tuning in, man. Yeah, that's right. The Hotel California solo. There is a guy that has a Twitch channel. His name is let's see, James Christian Hand, and he breaks down songs layer by layer from the original recordings. And he did Hotel California one night, and I was impressed when he played just the bass part. The bass solo, or the bass part in that, is amazing, but the guitar solos are phenomenal in Hotel California. Anyway, if you're interested in music, check that channel out. It's on Twitch, James Christian Hand. Lots of language, but it's fantastic. One night he broke down Michael Jackson, a couple of Michael Jackson songs, and when he played just the vocal track, you found out just how good Michael Jackson was. His vocals were unbelievable. When you don't have anything else in the mix, just his vocal, it was awesome. So, Kim Davis, I am another female listener. What's that? 3? Yeah, Kim. I'm not Massimo. MP has lots of female subscribers. I have less than 1%. So I appreciate you jumping on the live stream and listening in and commenting. So yeah, I think we got Gina, we got Kim, we have a few others. So I think we're up to maybe 5 or 6 now. Scale RC Slot Cars, welcome. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Did anyone see DNA's 240Z video? Fantastic looking cars. Yeah, those BRM cars are nice. My only issue is, like, it's a pretty expensive car to jump in to a class, and you would have to race them. They wouldn't compete with Carrera 124, and what I mean by that is they're probably a lot faster. I know my BRM Group C car is much faster than my Carrera cars. Yeah, not a whole lot, but you would probably want to race them in class, and so it's not a cheap class to jump into. But man, they look really, really good, and I know that Dahi is a big fan of the BRM 124s. So, but yeah, let's see. Looks like Harry is in the house. Welcome, Harry. Thanks for joining. Let's see. So 963. Only a few of you said you picked up the 963. Hey, Clint. Yeah, Dave, you already ordered your 240. Yeah, that'll be a popular car. I don't think they'll last long. The 963 is so beautiful. Scale Auto did a great job. Steve, I agree. It is a fantastic car. I'm just super impressed with the chassis. When you guys get the car, you'll notice just the detail in that chassis and the ability to adjust. There's just so much you can do with this car. It really is a great car. Of course, mine was a white kit, and I painted it green. I haven't put any decals on it yet, but I'm getting some laps in it. I'm really struggling to get the whole body to float, but it's a 2-piece body, and I'm not sure how important that is. I really need to have a conversation with Greg. But Greg and Josh, those guys are probably packing for the Michigan 24 right now, so we won't bother them. Frankie, one day you might have a scale auto. The 963 is a good one to pick up, Frankie, if you're wanting one scale auto. The Spiker, Steve has one. That's a good running car. But they've got a couple different chassis. One is kind of like their racing chassis, and then the other is sort of like their home chassis. And I haven't quite figured them out yet. I haven't done really enough research on them. This is the only scale auto that I have, my 963. Bob coming through with some urethane tires. Nice, Bob. Excellent. So it comes with rubber, and I'm looking for them. They're on my desk here someplace. And because I run silicone most of the time, that's why I threw 1403s on it. But question, hey, Marty, I like the brushless motor. That car ran pretty fast. Gary, it is very interesting to play with. I mean, I've had it in a couple of different cars. I first put it in my Thunderslot Elva, and then I put it in this 963. And one of them was a short can. The other one, still haven't put it back together yet. And the other one is the long can. And I mean, you look at the difference, the size difference. The Elva ran really well. It just needed a little more weight. And the car really settled down. This car with the brushless, compared to the scale auto motor, is really, really close without doing much tuning. They're running pretty much identical lap times. Although I did change the gearing a little bit. I went to a 9-tooth pinion instead of an 11-tooth pinion. So I changed the gearing a little bit, hoping that it might make the car just a little more under control, and it did that. So, Tad, I've been in a cover band for 20 years, and people always yell out Freebird or Skid Row. That's funny. Yes. Plan on testing the stock 963 rubber first before making a determination. Yeah, John, I was trying to find those tires to let people know what they were like. I think. No, that's not them. I mean, I think with a little bit of treatment, you probably can get the original rubber pretty good. If you work your magic. Dave Patterson, the Midmo will be my test track as I will extend it to 20. I extended it to 20 feet. Nice, Dave. That's a nice size layout. Hey, Brandon. What's up? Yeah, George's track was an awesome light show. Yeah, it's coming together really good. Hey, Slot Car League of Champions. Yeah, I'm excited to see some laps run on that. So, good for George. Hey, Midwest RC, you haven't missed anything. Slot R is on the coffee, Greg. To be up this late, he probably has had a few cups. Yeah, Daniel, John did get a 963. I don't think he's picked it up yet, but it's on its way. Does anyone know when the pre-ordering might open for the new Thunderslot Ferrari? Dave, that's a good question. I noticed that LEB has not put the pre-order out there yet. They're probably just waiting for the details from Thunderslot. I mean, they just made that announcement, on Easter. So I would say in the next couple of weeks we'll probably hear they'll start taking pre-orders. You'll want to jump on that if you want one. Those will probably go pretty fast. So, yes, DeFingers, Gloria, we can add her to the female count list. Thanks, Gloria, for tuning in with John. John, question at Bob. I had the chance to test your tires. They run well. What is the shore rating? On the shore rating on the tires that I have, let me find them. I believe they were 20. Those were the ones I had, John. They might be different, depending. But yeah, mine were 20, I believe. All the slot wives subscribe to Massimo. Hey, Daniel, welcome. Curvy, don't forget my wife and DeFinger's wife. They're always listening. I think there's a lot of wives that get trapped in listening. For all of you guys that watch on your watch the YouTube channel on your TVs. Who's that guy? Oh, girlfriend, not wife. There you go. Lots of wives in the background and girlfriends. Slot Car League of Champions question. Just received a couple fly slot catalogs. The cars look amazing. Do they perform well? So here's the thing, Slot Car League of Champions. Fly cars look amazing. Out of the box, they're not great runners. They're not bad, but with a little bit of tuning and some know-how, if you ask the right questions, there's a lot of guys in this live chat that really know how to tune fly cars. And I'll be honest with you, I got my fly cars running halfway decent. I feel pretty good about their tuning. And there's some tricks with the front axles that you can do to just take some slop out, add some body float, but they look awesome and they run really well. Once you do a little bit of tuning, you get them broke in, worth the squeeze, as Harry and John say. The juice is worth the squeeze. So it takes a little bit. There are a couple of fly cars that I have that are a big challenge. This fly car, it's a front motor. It's pretty challenging. I've got it going around the track, but this car, I love this car. This car is, or was, a dog. And then all of a sudden, I got a little bit of float in it, and I got the front end. I trued the fronts, and what I found is the body was rubbing just about everything. And once I fixed that car woke up. So there's a long answer for your short question about fly. Fun cars, you just race them against each other. You'll hear that a lot, is race things together that should race together. So fly cars should race together. Group 2 cars should race together. Revo slots, that's why we have classes of cars. So if you're running against another fly car, you can be pretty competitive with each other. So, hey, Slot Car Dojo. Hey, Vin. Vin. Harry is like Mr. Wilson. Yes. Let's see what else we got. Decent runners with some tuning. Yep. That was the proper answer, John. my answer was a little long, but yeah, I've got my cars over here. My two fly cars this year that I ran in the fly class were a 908 and a 908 Flunder. So they were both Porsches, and they both ran pretty good. My Flunder was actually a little quicker. Yeah, that's cool. It's going to be a fun layout for you. Has anyone talked to Marty tonight? Hi, everyone. Eating dinner, watching slot cars. Such a great combo. There you go. Josh, have a good race this weekend. Brandon, I bought an older Scale Auto Competition Le Mans BMW V12 white kit. It was amazingly designed with a spring suspension and some other crazy stuff. Scale Auto. I'm a fan of the V12. I have a Ninko V12 that is awful, but it looks great. Jag, I did try some shielding for my timing issues. I've got the timing issues working great with Race Coordinator. Still working out some kinks with Fast Laps. I'll just be honest with you, the last couple weeks I have not had any time at all to do any kind of additional testing. So I owe Patrick some testing. But running Fast Laps with digital works great. Really enjoyed it. It's a great option. But I still having some timing issues on the Fast Lap side. So I've tried a couple different sensors. I've got actually another set of sensors coming that I'm going to try, and then I'll do an update video about what I've discovered and what I've found. There's some of those cheap Chinese sensors that are just super sensitive to any kind of magnetic, interference, IR interference. There's a lot going on in the room, there's so much to deal with, which is why the beam eyes are probably still the best solution. And so that's what I've ordered. That's what I'm going towards. What else do we have? Scale Auto low profile tires they tend to introduce some noise on plastic tracks. Yeah, a little bit. That's I feel like the 1403 super tires really quieted that car down on the plastic. Again, it's silicone, and I know that's not for everyone. Hey, Jim, welcome. B2, finished painting and installing new lights in the basement. It's time to build my table. Fantastic. I look forward to getting updates on that. Lindsay, you got that? It's beautiful. The number 6, yeah, that's a great livery. They really did a nice job. Bob, 20A sure for my tires. Only hardness I offer at the moment. Well, it works great on plastic, Bob. So I think you're onto something there. Dan's wife is with us too. Hello, Dan's wife. Let's see. What else do we have? My girlfriend wants to know, were you a college radio DJ? I get that a lot. No, I was not a DJ. Yeah. I have done a lot of DJing for like weddings and things, but I was not a radio station DJ. I did want to go to, I went to Ohio University and they have an amazing journalism school there. I just could never get in just because there's so many people that want to get in. Matt Lauer and I were at OU at the same time, and he was in the Baker College of Journalism. I was not. Daniel, I agree regarding Bobcats. I seem to shave off time after installing them. Yeah, they hook up nice, Daniel. Lots of wives listening in and girlfriends listening in. That's fantastic. Can you put Predator motors in a fly car? Anthony, yes, you could. Again, they put an 18K motor in those cars because they match up really well with the performance of the chassis. So if you throw a 22,500, 22.5 ball bearing motor in it, you would definitely make that fly car go faster. The key will be, will it perform better? And I would say no. I've not done a test. Maybe I should do a test, especially since mine perform really well in plastic track. I could put that in the Flunder. My brother and I are going to test. He 3D printed a chassis for the Flunder, and so I'm probably going to rebuild the Flunder with a 3D chassis, and maybe we'll put a 22.5 ball bearing motor in it and see how it performs. But I'm not sure that the chassis works well enough, but it's married really well with that 18K motor. So I really think that just by getting it tuned up, the 18K, and if you're running against other fly cars, yeah, there's no need to put a faster motor in it unless you're just trying to build a faster car. But if you're trying to just compete in class, those 18Ks match up really well with that car, Anthony. Hey, Daryl. Thanks, man. And drink roast coffee. Yeah. Shout out to our buddy Trent from Roast Coffee. Use the code 2lines, and you can get a discount on your coffee. If you're a coffee drinker, I recommend the Brazil. It's very smooth, very good coffee. I had a cup of it this morning, but I think the caffeine wore out about by noon. I could have used a second cup today. If you hit the tune, the Panos car can run surprisingly well, drive shaft and all. John, I have it running okay. It's not, I guess what I judge all of my fly cars against is my Flunder. And my Flunder runs really well. And so very few of my fly cars, I only have one fly car that runs better than my Flunder. I'll grab it. So if you can pick up one of these, this is a Fly Porsche 911 GT1, and it has aluminum. It has aluminum wheels, and I believe it has it's the Evo 2 motor. And this car gets around the track really well. It is my best fly car. So if you're interested in fly cars, I actually even have the stock guide on it. And no need to change it because it performs well. It stays in the slot. Great. But that's my best fly car. But it's not fair to judge it. It's probably one of their higher end cars. It still could use some front axle work. But man, it's a great car. And I believe that body glows in the dark. Anyway, so there's fly cars. So Anthony, yeah, Predator motor would make the car go faster. I just don't know if it'll make it perform better overall. The fly cars get through the S turns really quick because I think it's got the right amount of power. But yeah, John, the Panos it runs pretty good now. It runs probably sixes on this track, and that's right there with some of the other. Jim, exactly. Race them together. Show me slots. Pete says, pulled mags out of one of my cars this afternoon after Slot R finally convinced me to give it a try. Might be pulling mags out of all my cars. So here's the thing. We talk every week at some point, magnets versus no magnets comes up on this channel. And this is a safe space for people who run magnets. I don't give people a hard time about what they choose to run. But the same thing happened to us. Pete, we went to Cincy Slots the first time, and I've told the story a million times. And we showed up, and Daryl made us race, and it was the first time any of us had driven a car with no magnets. When you get a chance to drive a car that's tuned really well with no magnets, it's a game changer. Like, you realize how much you have to drive a car. With magnets, you just have to control the speed of the car, if that makes sense. So you know where you have to let off to keep the car in the slot, in a tight turn. Magnets hide some tuning sins, right? But once you figure it out, you really can enjoy racing a car around a track. And what I realized is when we switched from magnets to no magnets, our lap times increased, right? Cars got slower. And then as we learned to drive a no magnet car, lap times kept getting faster and faster and faster and faster. And what I found was magnets, we got to the fastest lap times pretty quick with magnets. Now we're 2 years into no magnet racing, almost 2 years. Well, about a year in, I guess, a little over a year in with no magnet racing, and we are still improving those lap times. And so that's a big change for us, and I hope you enjoy it. Again, there's no reason to not run magnets, but I think that if you get a car that's tuned pretty good, do some improvement to the tuning, take the magnets out, really give it a chance, you will really enjoy it. Hey, Wild Man, good to have you, man. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, exactly, Dave. It's a different skill set, and it really is enjoyable. I second that 100%. Yeah, scale our seats like ours. Welcome to the fun side. It is a lot of fun. Again, you won't hear me giving people a hard time for running magnets. The key is just to have fun in the hobby, have fun with your cars. And if that takes a magnet, I've got a couple cars that I'm not going to take the magnets out of because they're horrible without magnets. They were cars that were not made to run without magnets. One of them is my VW bus. I'm not going to take the magnets out of that. That car was made to run digital with magnets. We're going to keep the magnets in it. But if I'm racing a car and we're setting it up for a class, it's probably going to be no magnets. Daniel, I saw a lot of fast running fly cars last night or last Thursday. Yeah, man, there's some good running fly cars. Well, and what it showed you is what you can get out of an 18K motor in a fly car. It's really impressive. Somehow some of these cars will tune up. Are you able to run magnets with your brushless car? So, Brendan, I do not have it in a car that has magnets. I didn't even try it. I immediately put it in a car, my Elva, and it doesn't have magnets. It ran pretty well, but there was 11 grams difference, and it's more like 20 grams different weight difference here in this car in the 963. So I had to add some weight, but I did not add magnets. Supposedly, under power, you get some mag effect from the brushless motor. I don't really notice it. So I need to do some more testing. So, but I'm not putting magnets in the car that I run it in. That makes sense. Yeah, you'll just have. I have my whole bottom shelf down here are cars that all have magnets. They're my digital cars, and then I've got some analog cars that are about 250 grams of magnetic downforce. I mean, they stick to the track, and that's what I put the kids on when they come and play. So they can crash those things. They can just, go all out. So yeah, there's no reason to make everything that you have no mag. Your cars may run a bit slower, but that comes with a big drop in the level of carnage. Yeah, John makes a great point. Let me see. This is one of my favorite cars. This car is destroyed. And it's because I ran it digital and I ran it with magnets for a long time. And it just is destroyed. All the motor pieces are broke off of it. Here's another one. My 908, my precious 908. I love this livery. It's one of my favorite cars. There's supposed to be a motor there. That motor is gone. It's supposed to have a mirror. That mirror is gone. It's supposed to have wings, tips on its wings. They're chipped and broke off. The grill is gone. I mean, that's what magnets. You do tear up your cars a little bit. I have. Let's see. Here's my shadow. This car, other than some dust on it, looks like it just came out of the box. Both mirrors still on it. It's tuned. It's fast. It has probably 3,000 laps. You couldn't tell. It really, because it doesn't have magnets, you just don't seem to tear the cars up. Let's see. Hey, Patrick, welcome. I'm a little behind. Sorry, guys. Daryl, at dinner with the wife watching the live stream. She's like, really? Slot cars right now? So sorry, Daryl's wife. My apologies. Enjoy your dinner, Daryl. It was my least favorite in the fleet, the M4. It was hot garbage before I pulled them, so I figured it couldn't get worse. Well, now you need to BW M4. What brand is that, Pete? Maybe we can help you get it tuned up. Joe, I love carnage and quick decision making. Mags in for me. Go fast or go home. Yeah, like it. I have no problem with that. It is fun. It's no lie. I have got. I threw a magnet in my Mosler. It already has a mag effect, but I've got just one magnet in the chassis. And this car is sub 4 seconds on my layout. It'll like run 3 nines. It's just crazy, crazy fast. And I pull it out every once in a while when I just want to go fast. So yeah, there's no shame in it, Joe. No shame in it at all. Let's see. John Albright question. Which Pinos? I have 5 or 6. I think they're all flies. Brandon, he was referring to mine. That's my fly. Daryl gave that to me and said, good luck. Let's see here. What else do we have? Rocket Knight. I was a college DJ. Nice. Yeah, I would have tried to do that in college. I worked at the college newspaper, but we didn't have a college radio station. We did at OU in Athens, but I was never able to get in there. Curvy, Bobcat, are they only on Etsy? I believe Bobcat has a website. We can throw it out there. Pull it up. It's bobcatslots.com. There we go. Oh, let's see. How's life in the doghouse? That's good. I missed some. Jim, I don't like and won't race magnets, but in my own humble opinion, at the highest level of competition, I think they are harder to race, drive, and race than non-magnet. The concentration level is off the charts. Yeah, Jim, that's actually a great point. I feel like I have to focus even more when I'm running magnets. Again, yeah, Jag, I did get the noise gate fixed. Yeah, it was a setting that I had created that for my podcast. I was getting bleed over from the other speakers, so I had to crank up my threshold, and I forgot to change it. And because I don't have headphones on, I didn't recognize it. So I did a live stream. I did like 2 videos, and I was having problems. So we got it fixed now. Yeah, Chris, you've started running some no magnets. That's cool. Take a walk on the wild side and tune a VW bus for no non-mag. Yeah, I'll have to do that, John. Actually, this bus runs really pretty good. So I'll have to pull the magnets out and see how it goes. Bob, I'm enjoying both magnet and no mag racing. I pull magnets out my high end cars, but I leave them in Ski Electrics and Carrera. Bob, that's what I do too. That's kind of my dividing line. Usually the Carrera cars and Ski Electric cars keep the magnets, and the others don't. Let's see. Brandon, fly racing cars are competitive cars. I have 2. They are way better than regular fly cars. I would agree. I'm going back because when I put the post in there, it jumped me all the way to the bottom. Bob, you just bought 2 of the Evo 2 Fly 911s. Good choice. You will be very happy. They are really good cars. John Mark's not ready for my steps yet. Sean, hey, finally made it home to watch. Hey, Sean, welcome, man. Hope you're doing well. Fly 908s run great if you drop in a slot rear axle starter set in a 20.5K motor. Yeah, I'm sure they do, Jag. Midwest, you are working on LED lights. Nice. Midwest has put out some really cool LED lights. Therapy is tough, but therapy is what gets you back to where you need to be, right? One more pitch for 24 scale. The BRM GT40s will be great cars. You just don't need one car is less than 2 Revos. Yeah, I think I caught back up. Brandon. Predator plus fly car equals hits the basement wall at explosive velocity. Possibly. Quite possibly. Went to Fast Eddie's yesterday to try and buy some rubber tires, Marty. There you go. Do they have a pretty nice track there at Fast Eddie's? The next time I'm down, I plan to stop there. Yeah, that's good. I liberated some chocolate. Let's see here. The motors in the Ninko carts look like HO scale motors. Yeah, they're a different size motor. Let's see. What else have I missed? What were some of the other things I wanted to talk about tonight? 963. We've already probably talked enough about that. I had the impromptu live stream the other night where I talked about the cars that I picked up over the last year to race. And I was like, the importance of having a backup car. And then testing. So if you race in a class, I recommend that you not just have one car for that class, that you don't have to do it right off the bat, but you eventually have a backup car. Because what happened is my backup car in probably 3 of the classes turned into my best car because they just, it's a second time through a tuning. You always learn something. Maybe the weight distribution is a little different. But I found that with the NSR GTs, for example, my Jägermeister Corvette was super fast, but it had a 25K motor, which was legal. But I could handle my AMG a little better on Bruce's track with the 22.5 motor in it. It was just easier to drive. And in the end, even though it wasn't quite as fast as my Corvette, I probably I made less mistakes. If that makes sense. It was a little easier to drive, stayed in the slot much better. But my GT cars, in the end, my NSR GT cars weren't great. My fly car, I finished on the podium, but I just really couldn't get my GT cars to come around to be where they needed to be. And a lot of that, I don't know. I think they're really close. I just really struggled with grip. And then the 25K was just super easy to overdrive. So I always had to tone that motor down a little bit to the point where I was running as fast with the 21.5 motor. So it made more sense to run the AMG. But having that backup car gives you that opportunity to do some A/B testing, right? You can do some gear changing. You can run different motors. You can try different things. And then once you get to the track, you've got the ability to make a decision. And when you're kind of stuck with one car, it's the car you show up with. It's you drive in with it and you race with it. But if there's something that happens to it, then you're kind of in trouble. So when I was talking about the stable of cars, so that was 8 classes. It was 16 cars. By the end of the season, I ended up having 2 cars for each class. There were a couple classes I just didn't have that second car. I never had a group. Didn't have the Datsun in time to race in the Group 2. So the Alpha is what I ran every week, and it was fine. I just was I got the Datsun tuned up just a touch quicker. And what else? What was another one? My Can-Am cars. It's one of my favorite classes. Between the Can-Am and the Group C, I have 4 cars, each of those. And with the Ferrari coming from Thunderslot, I'll have a 5th. So I've got lots of choices with that one. But that's sort of how I've been building my collection. Let's see what's going on in the chat. John D., my race groups moved away from managers after the damage of heavy hitting despite, especially Skeletric F1. Yeah, F1 cars are tough. Let's see. I think I'm past this. Mirrors only let you see who's losing. Yeah, usually mirrors don't last too long on any of the cars. My Thunderslots definitely, they're missing all their mirrors. Collection. I guess I need to pull the magnets out and try it out. I figured if Carrera put them there for a reason. Collection. So here's the thing. With your Carrera cars, you can run them no magnets. We run a digital class at Bruce's with no magnets in our Carrera cars. You just don't have as much to tune with a Carrera car, right? Um, you can only do so much, and so you pull the magnet out, and those cars were built to run with magnets. Um, so if you're going to get a car to run no magnet, I would maybe try picking up a car um, like a slotted Group C or an NSR, one of the Can-Am cars, the 908s, or a GT car. One of the other brands that, Revo Slot, for instance, that you've got some tuning options to help get that car what it needs to perform really well without magnets. Just pulling your magnets out of your Carrera cars, you can do that. I'm just afraid that you'll have the same experience that we did. When the only time we'd ever tried is we pulled the magnets out of a couple Carrera cars, and it lasted for about 5 minutes. And we just couldn't get any grip with the Carrera cars. But then when we went to Cincy Slots, we got to race Thunderslots and Slottits and a bunch of other brands, and realized that you could get those cars tuned to have grip and get around the track without magnets really, really well. So I think that if you want to try it, you might want to pick up a car that you've got a shot at actually getting it tuned. Pete says the M4 is a Carrera. Cool. Slot Journal, I think the car damage is more due to the lane changing, rear ending, rough tumble, digital racing than magnets alone. In analog, you can drive fast, take them to the edge, and learn not to crash. Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, my damage to my 908 and my GT40 are all because of digital racing. I blame my brother for rear-ending me. I guess I was being too slow. I was in his way. Yeah, it does help with those things. I can't see buying fast-looking things and not racing them around. That's right, Tom. Carrera magnets can hide many sins. Yeah. I think mag for digital works better, but no mag is a blast to drive and learn how to handle the car. I agree. I think you really learn how to manage the trigger running no magnets. But I would agree that with the pit lane entrance, unless you do slot R's trick, you really have to slow down to get into the pits. And so the magnets help with that. John D., more feedback from a non-magnet car. Yep, I agree. It's all about keeping cars on the track. You can use metal, or you can use metal, better tires, or a guide that's the size of the floor joist to keep it in the slot. It's good. Don Young, the Fly Salines Evos are nice runners too. I don't have one, but I would say that it's very similar to the 911. That's cool, man. Thanks, dude. Appreciate it. The fingers. I'm finding your tires did not drop off as the traction. Yeah, I would agree with that. I need to run some more laps, but Bob does make 124 tires, handful of Carrera. There you go. And 917 development in progress. Excellent. Hey, Michael Squire. Welcome. Good to have you. Thanks for joining. Let's see. Yeah, the GTYs, that they were a big help with the GTY. Glad to hear all the 124 scale talk. Well, BRM put out those 240Zs. Those will be pretty popular. Let's see. Who else we have? I'm happy to make any size needed if you can send me the specs. There you go. Eddie mentioned slot car misfits during our conversation. Michelle Rogers, are you still Michelle, you should know me by now. Yes, I'm still talking. I'm always talking. My dad was overpaid for it as a gift since I was too skittish to pay what they were asking. John D., the new production BRM 240Z Datsuns looked very impressive on DNA slots. Sasha, the best driving 8-year-old ever. Yeah, she kept it in the slot for sure. Yeah, she does a great job. What else do we have? Hey, Tom. Thanks for joining. Curvy, are you changing up for a larger pit box? Curvy, actually, if you can believe this, I downsized. Dusty and I both downsized our pit boxes. We've learned what we need to have at the track and what we don't. And probably we don't take as many cars as we were in the beginning. So not a bigger pit box. Downsized a little bit. Not much, but Thomas Sanders. Hey, Thomas. What's up? Question for Clearwater 124. What kind of accessories parts does Fast Eddie's carry? I currently have Carrera 132 cars. I'm in Riverview, Florida. Thanks. Yes, I did post the link. Slot Car Daddy. Hey, Marty and all the fellow slot cars. Well, welcome, Slot Car Daddy. Good to have you. Carrera cars run great with only the front magnet in them. Yeah, BS slot. That's you can. I mean, most of the Carrera cars come with 2 magnets, so you can make them a little more challenging by pulling the rear magnet out, and they'll run pretty good. BRM, no magnets needed. Amazing, fun cars to race. Yeah, I love doing some laps on my BRM. I'm excited about BRM releasing the aluminum chassis to replace the old Group C chassis, which is basically just a flat plastic pan. Yeah, John, the first natural step up from Skeletric and Carrera is something slotted. We had a conversation about this today. I would probably stay away from the slotted DTM cars for that first car because they're kind of a challenge to tune. I really recommend the slotted Group C cars. It's pretty easy to make them perform really well. A little bit of tuning goes a long way in how well those cars, how well they drive. So that's just a recommendation. But if you don't like Group C cars, then Slotted has lots of different choices. That's the beauty of it. But like grabbing one of the LMPs right off the bat or the DTM, those are just a little tougher tunes. So just that's my slotted warning. Hey, Dahi. Good evening. Not much for home racing, Thomas. There you go. What else do we have? Bunch of hellos. I don't see any much more questions. Marty, I pulled Magnus from 124 Carrera 2 years ago and couldn't drive it. Yeah, so we race 124 digital at Cincy slots with no magnets. And they're a handful. But the beauty in that is everybody else is in the same boat. So it's kind of chaos on the track, and everybody else is in the same boat. So what else do we have? Wow, 90 in the chat. Man, big night. Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining. I appreciate those of you, the 68 of you who've given me a thumbs up. Really appreciate it. It means a lot. The thumbs up basically just pushes it out to more people and notifies them that the chat is going on. And as we know, people enjoy being in the chat and being a part of the chat. So good stuff. I really appreciate it. Some of the top things, John D, on routed non-magnet track, Carrera wider cars can make an enjoyable class with a change to better tires. Yep. Yeah, it's hard to get body float in a Carrera car. Enough. Yeah. Yeah, I think that I have enough cars, and then Thunderslot releases, pictures of the Ferrari. Um, Slot it puts a new Group C car out or something. It never stops. It's never ending. Never ending. Ah, that's never enough. You're right, Dahi. That's a great musical. Playing P.T. Barnum would be a bucket list character for to play for me. Anthony, I'd rather do this than watch regular television. Anthony, the Slot family is fun. Projects that I have ahead of me. Again, Mad P sent me the Maverick bodies. I'm seriously thinking about. I haven't seen Shotgun Dave in the chat tonight. He's probably busy working on his challenge cars, but he put the challenge out there, the Proxy, and I'm trying to decide what kind of car I want to build to see if I can compete with his what did he build? The Chaparral. So I was looking at the rules today on my lunch hour and then trying to decide. It's got to be a brass chassis. I already have a brass chassis made here for my Volkswagen Bug. So maybe if I can figure out how to get the tires and the wheels to get underneath this body, maybe I'll send the VW Beetle to that Proxy race. I don't know. I guess I could build the 132nd Maverick to send, but it's a pretty small track, so I'm thinking that a smaller car would have a possible chance. The Chaparral gets around the track really, really well. So is anybody else planning to jump into that Proxy? Tad or Michael Squire or any of you guys? George, I know George is probably building a car for it. But that's kind of one of my next projects. I want to build that car, and I've got to get started on my land barge because here it is April, and the deadline's in July, and I know I've got a lot of time, but I had so many problems with paint the last time. I really want to get out ahead of that. But I can't make the decision on the chassis build, how I want. I like to build either a rattle chassis or something that has some kind of movement in the pod area. So let's see. Always fun time here. That's right. It's always a good time. Marty, you going to do a shotgun? There you go. Tad, I just saw your question. Yeah, I already answered it before I got to your question. So I'm my plan. I just don't know what I'm going to build yet. So anybody else planning to jump in? It looks like it'd be a lot of fun. I really think that I'm not really a part of home racing world, but I think it would be fun to put that type of Proxy together where it's like a challenge. You tune a car, send it to me, and I'll have me and Dusty and John Mark and bring Daryl in or have a guest driver, and we'll race your car, see what kind of lap times we can get. I think that would be fun. So about a year ago in the live stream, I talked about doing some type of Proxy, and everybody warned me, oh my gosh, you have no idea how much work a Proxy is. But after I got to participate in one with the showdown, it was so much fun to be a part of. So yeah, I don't know. Would you guys be interested? What if we did a fly proxy where you send me? I'll post my time, my best time with my fly car, like a classic fly, and you guys can send me your fly cars. I'll run a bunch of laps, see what your best time is, and see how it posts up against my time. And I'll have Dusty run some laps, and John Mark and Daryl and Josh, and we'll do some live streaming with them, and then we'll ship them back to you. I think that'd be fun. Or we do a serious proxy and we do slot at Group C. Or we could do Revo slot Group 2s. That might not be a bad idea. Dahi says that he and Sasha might build one for Shotguns Challenge. That's cool. Caveman says, I need a set of front wheels for a 1/32 scale dragster build. Any recommendations? Oh, gosh. I have not done any drag racing, any slot car drag racing. But I would say that the drag cars are tiny, like O-ring type of fronts, right? I do know that there's a racetrack over in Richmond, Indiana, and they have a Facebook page, and they build cars and post them out there for sale, and they have built some awesome looking drag cars. And they might be called Fast Eddies, now that I think about it. Beautiful drag cars, but you might look at that Facebook page and get some ideas, Caveman, on the fronts for the dragster. That's Tom. That is true, man. It's tough to watch the news some days, especially with this election year coming. When first trying Revo slot cars, would also suggest the wider GT2 and GT1 cars first off. Little cars, harder task. Yeah, John D. The Group 2 cars are a little more of a challenge, but man, they're a blast to drive once you get them tuned up a little bit. Gary Dunmore, can the Omnibox run a 4-lane track? Yes. Jim has an Omnibox that's a 4-lane. It's $1,400. It's pricey, but it obviously we know that it will do an awesome job. I am using the Ultra 4, the Axle box, sorry. And that for the price is fantastic. Or you could DIY it. Build one. It's not that hard. Anthony, I bought some cards for Marty, and I bought them at Walmart, a couple hobby shop, along with some brass, but I didn't do anything yet. Anthony, Tad is building a Lambo. Anthony, you just kind of have to get over the fear of building it. It's going to be a challenge. In the end, it's pretty cool to see your own car that you built from the scratch run on the track. Totally worth it. So Tad is building a Lambo. Nice. Tad, that's awesome. Tad, I was thinking about building a brass chassis and using one of the fly bodies. I thought about doing that. I've got a couple of ideas, but I may just have to. I mean, wouldn't it be awesome if the VW Bug, knocked Dave out of the top spot? I don't see that happening, but or the Wizard of Oz. Here you go. The Wizard would be a good part. H.O. Maverick. Yep, Patrick Harper. They do make a 4-lane Omnibox. Building a 52 Ferrari 212 for Shotguns Challenge. Jeff G. Nice. Is there? Well, I guess when you send them to Dave, he will post videos of each one and pictures. Is there a page out there on HR Home Racing World where we're able to post our projects before we send them out? I'm just curious to know what people are working on and building. That'll be fun. Let's see. I would jump in, but you have too much on your plate. Well, man, I get it, man. It's a busy time. Hey, good night, Kirby. Thanks for joining, man. Yeah, I think it would be fun. I mean, it would be fun to do a 2 lines proxy. I don't know why I put it off. I mean, I really thought a lot about it. I even had like the rules written out. But I think it like the rules got complicated, and I was like, this people are right. This is a lot of work. I think the challenge that Dave is doing is like there's not many rules. It's a brass chassis. You have to run urethanes or rubber tires. You can run whatever motor you want. You can run whatever chassis you build, whatever body. I mean, there's not a lot of rules to it, and I like that. So maybe that's what we'll do is not overcomplicate it. Eric Daly, you're right. Matthew could come and be the guest driver. We could have him test out all the cars. Eric, thanks for tuning in tonight, man. Good to have you. Eric fixed my guitar for me, and my electric guitar, which I played this past weekend, was a blast. I really enjoyed it because it didn't pop and crack, and it worked like it's supposed to. So, shout out to Eric. Thanks, man. Appreciate you doing that. I owe you. There you go. You could review that. That'd be great. I know a bunch of people have the 2-lane OmniSlot box, but I don't know anybody that's got the 4. Let's see. There you go, Anthony. Good. That'll be great for people to see. I don't have many RTR cars. All of mine I built. Nice, Tad. Well, Tad, if it's just a challenge, you could build whatever car you wanted. It wouldn't have to be a fly, I guess. So I'll think about that. Tad, I'm tuning up my challenge tires. So Michael Squire, Michael, what are you building, or is it a surprise? It's not the Hello Kitty, is it? That was a fast car. Oh, there you go. Contact JK Racing for drag items. Nice. There you go. Lots of help. For pinks. That's right. Racing for pinks. Let's see here. I could have bought my sliding glass door, but instead you got an OmniSlot box. That's great. Hey, Jeremy, welcome. But I've been watching on the TV, so I can't join in the chat. Nice. Yeah, no worries, man. Hope you're doing well. Can you give a link to Dave's challenge info? Brandon, yes. Yes, I can. I think that I have it. I think I have it right here. All right. For those who are interested, here is the information. I just posted it. Michael, I bet you're right. I was going to tell him he could jump on my live stream if he got something done before I was done. Let's see here. So Brandon, I just posted that link. So it is now in the chat. So George, hang on. So George, did I miss a post from George? Lane 1 is operational. Fantastic. Congratulations, George. I'm sure that, I'm about to wrap up. It's almost 9:30. So, yeah, good stuff. And George, hopefully George will go live after this. Tad, stay up late. I bet George will go live. Good night, Bob. Thanks, man. Thanks for joining. Gina, thanks for asking. I talked to him today. Dad is doing pretty good. We had lunch last week for Easter, and so it was good to connect with him. He's doing better. It's a slow process, but he's really coming around and is doing really well. Thanks for asking. I appreciate that. That means a lot. Thanks. I bought a soldering station off of Amazon. It's time to learn how to use it. There you go, Tom. That's right. Yeah, so you have a lot of time for Shotgun Dave's challenge. It's running all the way through Halloween. That's a long proxy. Wow. That is a long, long proxy. I'm sure he's up for it. He's up for the challenge. I feel like there was something else I was going to talk about, and then I've forgotten what it was. Hang on. Follow up on 2320. Yeah, Thunderslots, latest announcements. Okay, no, I think we hit everything. How many of you are ordering the Thunderslot Ferrari? At least one of them, if not both of them. Yeah, Wild Man, you've got a long time. He opened that up so that lots of people could jump in. Hey, Cyberg, welcome. Good to have you. Brandon, you will be building a car for Dave's challenge. Nice. Yeah, it'll be fun. I don't know if you watched Dave's. He ran his car and set the time to beat yesterday. It's a great little live stream that he did. It's not too long. I think it was out maybe a little less than an hour. But it was all good stuff. And he talked a lot about the proxy, how it works. And then I think Harry had sent him a car. So he actually ran Harry's car and posted that time too. Brandon, I'm ordering both. I have to have all the Can-Am cars. Brandon, I'm with you, man. I love the Can-Am cars. I think they're great. I have missed out on a few. Wild Man, you want at least one. Yeah, Chris, you might do the number 23. Yeah. Chris Ammons. Yeah. That's a good looking car. I like them. Yeah, I'll definitely at least get one. Yeah, John. Both Thunderslot Ferraris for you. Yeah, I think I'm short on Ferraris. I have two 333 SPs. I have a MR slot car and a Revo slot, and then I have a 488 Carrera Ferrari, and that's the only Ferraris I have. Yeah, I'm looking to make sure that I'm not lying. So I mean that's only three. I don't know. I've got 60 or 70 cars now, so I don't count. It's just an approximation. So yeah, that's my plan. I've got 4 builds I'm working on now. Tad, you are an animal. I've got one that I'm in the middle of, and I've got 3 that I need to start. So I'm right there with you, but I'm just not in the middle of them. I'm only in the middle of one. And to finish it, I've got to order some smaller wheels and tires, and I'm not going to like the look of the car with those smaller wheels and tires. So I'm trying to decide what's my best option. Yeah, definitely getting both of the Ferraris. I think they'll sell out quick, guys. Yeah, so if you really want one, it's probably smart to get in there and get them pre-ordered. Let's see. Clearwater. I don't know when that chassis. They've been talking about it for a long time. I know that they're working on it, but I've not heard a date of when those chassis will release from BRM. Dahi might know from Alan. but I know that it's coming, but they don't have specific dates. Blake, what do you think about Cloverleaf Racing? Mike's great, man. Met him at an endurance race at Butch's track. He's in the live chat every once in a while when he's got time. I know he's a busy guy running Cloverleaf, but he's who I got my controller off of. He was a big help with that. And I really like the guys at Cloverleaf, and there's some fast racers. So they've got a big weekend ahead of them with Michigan 24 coming. So, yeah. Yep, good stuff. Oh, thanks, Dahi. I appreciate that. Have a great rest of the week, Ted. If you ever get a chance to go to Road America for vintage racing, Real Can-Am, Trans Am, GTP, Group C, we're gonna have to make that happen. Maybe that's what we need to do is pick one of those weekends and have a big YouTube meetup and say, okay, guys, we're going to meet up at the racetrack and go watch some racing, and then find some place we can set up a track and bring some slot cars and race. I don't know. Sean and I have had a big, long conversation about how to make that happen. It's just life gets busy and haven't been able to get any further down the road. Patrick says probably just one of the Ferraris. Let's see, what do we have? John has 60 to 70 this month. That's great, Jim. Let's see here. Tad, we're in a tie. I'm working on 4. Yeah, Michael, you always have a handful of them going at one. But Blake, hopefully that answered your question about Cloverleaf. Yep, good guys up there. Support them, and they have a store, website. I've ordered parts from them. Yep, I try to help all the local stuff. Greg is preparing right now. That's right. I knew you would be, Greg. Hopefully it's going well. Yeah, Wild Man says the same thing. Good place to order from. Greg, I wish you the best, man. Go have some fun. Greg, that's the plan, but I'll send you a text. As with everything in my life, there's always some curveball that gets thrown at me with work. And so I may have to adjust my schedule. So I may not get to be up there when I wanted to be up there because I've just a couple things at work. I've got a coworker that his wife is expecting, and they're inducing labor. We kind of cover for each other. So that could cause a problem for Friday. So because he came in and he wants to take Friday off, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. I've got to talk to my boss about it. But let's see here. Bigger storage shelf. Yeah, that's right. Shop around on the Thunderslot as prices vary by over $10 a car. Has anybody posted the pre-sale for them yet? I've not seen anything. Yeah, Patrick, I'm with you. I have not seen anything. Clearwater, I have 2 Evil Bay models being delivered in the next couple of days. Nice. Thanks, Anthony. Appreciate it. Chris, that I was actually just looking up what the dates on the Mid-Ohio Vintage races are. That's always a good time. Josh, I agree. It is more important. Yeah. Thanks, Jim. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap things up. Vintage Trans Am is awesome. I would agree. I really enjoyed that class this past year. But guys, thanks. We just like every week, we don't accomplish much, but we do have a lot of fun talking about slot cars. Let me know what you think. What's your next purchase? Leave that in the chat. But have a great week, and get out on your track and have some fun. Go have some fun racing. Thanks for tuning in this week. We'll see you next week.